What's up, gamers? Hey, Draftkey. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully good.
Mookie E.
Me too, Pookie. Me too. Thank you so much for the resub. Oh my god, Mochi said sup to me. I know. You got noticed by Big Streamer Man. Isn't that exciting? Ooh woo. You must tell all your friends and family now that Big Streamer Man noticed you. This is what your life has led up to. This is the peak. Mochi, notice me, please. I'm sorry. What? Who is that? I couldn't see it. It faded away too fast. I'm kidding, Pookie. Thank you so much for the resub, Pookie. You know we love and appreciate you. Oh my god. It's more Higurashi time though. That's the important thing. When Rika said it's Higurashi time, and then she Higurashi'd all over talking, I was like, oh my god, that is so epic. We gotta read more, man. It's Higurashi time. Probably lost him by running through the woods like mad. My body was covered in scratches. Finally started to feel the pain from that. Felt both cold and hungry. There was no place nearby to take shelter from the rain. I was just on a little path in the woods. My worst fear was that I could end up heading back towards the orphanage. After bolting and losing my sense of direction, I had crushed that man's finger. I didn't think I bit it off, but I was sure it would leave a scar. Taking that into consideration, it was very clear to me what kind of torture waited for me back at the orphanage. Therefore, I'd have to reach the house of love and mercy. Only it had been daytime, and I could have easily found the right way to go. However, with this rain, there was nothing I could do. I couldn't stop. I had to keep walking until I reached something. Wondered if Eriko and the others had escaped safely. Didn't know how many people came out.
Fear me, for I am the Lord of Animals.
Welcome, Golden. Do you and Fuki have, like, the same, like, automatic resub date? Because I assume that's what it is. Or is it, like, similar? I swear, like, y'all always resub around the same time. I don't know. That could just be me going crazy. I could just be going insane. Didn't know how many people came after us, but at least one came after me. Oh, Mochi! What's up, Golden? Guess who's close to 100k? But 100k of what? I assume it's you. I don't know what it. I don't know what 100k of. 100k followers. 100,000 dollars. Gold hard cash. Get with the. No one. I'm sorry, Golden. Joaquin is deemed that no one cares. You gotta stop talking. Oh, I had to take a sip. Oh my god. That was funny. Alright, let me catch you. Mochi will care when I force him to play a game of my choice. Not any game. It has to be a visual novel. It has to be a visual novel. I hope we don't have the same resub date. I don't want anything the same as Golden. Oh my god. Golden's getting roasted. Just absolutely toasted, dude. Golden, what do you have to say about all this? Make him play Umineko? Oh lord. That's another long one, isn't it? I mean, hey, if that's what Golden wants, then the Mochi has no choice but to conform to the wants of chat. I am a slave to the fans. Golden bullies me near daily. Mochi, call back your hit, man. Golden is already dead. Fans ragdolled on the floor, and we just keep kicking him. Oh, God. In other words, it meant they had a better chance. Did they reach the house of love and mercy? They drying themselves with soft towels? And if they still remembered me, would they save a towel for me too? It felt so cold. I wanted to find shelter and sit down. There was nothing of the sort. I saw a tree that looked like I could take shelter under it, but the branches and leaves were dripping with water. It was then that I realized that the sky was gradually getting dark. Would this day end in rain? There were no streetlights where I was. Looks up least bought visual oh god, dude. You're gonna have me read something weird like that KFC one. I still haven't looked at that KFC visual novel. Either on stream or in my free time. Soon enough, it would be totally dark. Then I wouldn't be able to walk any further. Thanks for the god dang it, Golden. Well, like that one's like free, isn't it? I don't actually remember. Then I wouldn't be able to walk any further. Just wanted to sit down, even if it was raining. I'd recommend Euphoria, but we couldn't read that on stream. That's yeah, probably not. Isn't that like a hentai? Like, that's straight up just a hentai, right? But if I did sit down, I probably wouldn't be able to stand up again. So, I endured. An Rogue, yeah. I could do Hacho Full Boyfriend. Oh my god. Dude, I remember... I think it was either PewDiePie or Lost Pause. I watched them play Hacho Full Boyfriend a long time ago. I don't actually remember anything from it, though. Hello there. Coming right here. That's a hentai. Hello, Woo. Hello, Woo. Let's give Woo a shout-out. Give the Woo a shout-out. Guys, if you haven't already, please just follow Woo. I'm tired of looking at her follower count and it not being 50. I'm tired of it. I've grown annoyed. We need to get her to affiliate. Please don't. No, Woo, you're gonna make me upset if you don't get to at least 50. I'm not ready. You are ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh god. Alright. I'm not ready, let me stew. What was she cooking? If I hadn't escaped with Eriko and the others, I wouldn't have had to go through such misery. Mochi, how would you feel about a murder mystery? Sounds fun. That actually does sound pretty fun. But yeah, play Hachofu Boy, play Amnesia, dude, stop. Mochi is giving you love, you're gonna accept it, yes! You are accepting it, stop it!
I'm ready! I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready.
That's me on my way to, do a tier 3 sub to Woo when she gets to affiliate. Me on my way donating $1,000 to Woo. No. Cope. Cope, Woo. You have to cope. Tier 3, let's go. Please, I'm so scared. Oh, God. Tier -1, bro. By the way, Woo, we are on chapter 8 now of Higurashi. We finished chapter 7, which the end of that was basically... It looked like it was going well, and then it reminded you, oh yeah, this is Higurashi and everyone died. But then everyone died. And now we know Takano is the big poopa stinker, the big evil. Although she's kind of mommy. So, yeah, anyways. We are looking into Takano's sad anime backstory. I beg you, take my house. You're all working too many jobs. No, don't worry about it. We've all gotta chip in. It's Takano stuff. Yeah, baby. It's Takano time. Wow! Yeah, baby. That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Wow! I hit that follow button. Guys, make sure you smash follow on the channel. Instead, just subscribe to... No. He's doing the 10 shot. No, don't sub to me. Anyways. But compared to what I had to go through at the orphanage, this was nothing. Please, I'm here for Higurashi. Thinking about that was the only way to make myself move. But when I thought about that, it's true that this freezing cold rain was far better than my life at the orphanage. Based, Fuki. Based. Fuki absolutely being based. No, please don't go. We'll use your sub to sub to vote. No! No! As soon as Fuki said that, I immediately imagined her doing the Chad Dr. Livesley walk. Absolutely based, Fuki. We'll create a vicious circle. No, dude. Don't do it. I don't care what you do with the money as long as it's given to you. Absolutely based. But that was only when compared to the life at the orphanage. Was it better than the normal lives of normal kids my age? Didn't even need to think about it. When my parents were alive, although we weren't rich, it led to a normal life. Gentle smiles and forgivable selfishness. Okay, you can't do that with it. Weed, buddy. Le weed. Sound of my mother cooking breakfast in the morning. Sound of a newspaper being folded. Precious memories like that. Le weed. I didn't need anything else. I had plenty of friends. I had fun at school. Couldn't buy weed money for you. Didn't like my teacher, but I liked studying. I had everything I needed. It was enough for me. I never complained. Never did anything bad. So why was this happening to me? Everything went downhill after that train accident. The die of fate kept rolling a 1. The die never showed its good side to me. It's interesting that, it's probably just like a similar writing thing, it doesn't really mean much. But it's interesting that Takano is also talking about rolling the die. Because Rika was talking about the same thing in chapter 7, where she constantly mentioned when she was talking about her fate, it was like rolling a die, and Takano was talking about like the exact same thing. So I think that's interesting, kind of a interesting parallel between the main protagonist and main antagonist. In my opinion. That's the sweetest thing anyone has ever done. If the accident was my fault, then I could have accepted it. God dang it, Woo. But it wasn't. It wasn't even there. Waited for my parents at home. I liked going to the mall with them. We always had a meal at the restaurant in the mall. I always told them to let me know if they were going to the mall. But on that day, they went without me while I went to my friend's house to play. My friend wasn't in, so I went back home. I didn't see anyone at home and found a note that said they were going to the mall. Oh, by the way. We are doing the Dengum Romper collab on Arcane and BT's channel. So if you want to see me react to the Dengum Romper, Danganronpa, I don't know how to say it, but make sure you follow Arcane and BT, because I will only be live on his channel so we can get some followers from my audience. That's what I like to do. When I do a collab, I don't really like to focus on myself. I like to give the other person as much attention as possible. I don't really like to divide it. But, yes, if you want to see my reaction to Dengum Romper, make sure you follow Art. Thank you. We'll be doing that on Saturday. I don't know. Is it Dengum Romper 1? Yes. I don't know, he seems like a nerd. So true, Fuki. Mochi, you goddamn saint. No, I'm not a saint. I'm not. I'm really not. I really think Dengum Romper is fun with friends. I don't know much about it, except that there is murder and a bear involved. So, it'll be interesting. Mochi, I'm really not. Did Ark know about it? Yeah. We already planned this out. It'll be Saturday afternoon, EST time. We don't know the exact time, but it will be Saturday. I regretted going to my friend's house. I waited at home. I didn't come home. I was still gone by dinner time. Does he know about the whole story? I think I might be the only one going in blind. Another VTuber, Leodrin? I don't know. Now listen here, Woo. That was very rude. I might be the only one going in blind. I'm pretty sure Ark knows all of Dengum Romper. I could be wrong, but I might be the only one going in blind. Leodrin might also be blind. I'm not sure. I can ask them. Though. But you'll definitely be seeing my genuine blind reactions, if anything. I like that. I'll certainly watch. Nice. I was getting hungry and got angry with my parents for leaving me. Thought they were having dinner at the mall restaurant without me. If I hadn't gone to my friend's house, I'd be eating dinner at the restaurant too. I'm watching Jess go through it right now, and it is hilarious. I'm excited. I really am. I loved the little flags that came with the kids' meal. I was collecting those flags. Okay. I don't know why this dialogue reminded me of this, but recently McDonald's was, like, selling these kids' meals with, like, not really recently, it was, like, during Halloween. They were selling kids' meals with, like, these little Halloween buckets. Like, they're just, like, little mini ones. Like, it's stuff that you would find at, like, Walmart or stuff. Like, very cheap. But my mom was absolutely obsessed with collecting those. One day she went there to try to get one, and she was so mad that they didn't have any. And when she came home the next day, she had one. I'm like, Mom, this... this looks like just some cheap thing you could find at Walmart. And she's like, but it's cute. She really wanted to collect all the Halloween buckets from the kids' meals. I think she might have. I'm not sure. She did get one. I know that for sure. Let me see. I forced half my friends to play games I like the story of and not the gameplay so I can chill. Mochi definitely finds murder hilarious. I've seen his Higurashi streams. Hey man, listen. Yeah, I suck. There's probably so many people that it does hit me. It does hit me when like I see like sad scenes or like murder scenes. But like I don't know, like my first reaction when something sudden happens is like it's just comedy and I just laugh. I don't know why that's my first reaction. I wish McDonald's had Halloween buckets. They have paper minions. Oh, but that's so god tier, Woo. Think about that. I think the stream will get longer thanks to oldest. Oh, Woo. Oh yeah, that's no, don't apologize, Woo. I like giving my friends love. That's entirely on me. That's my fault. Because I get off into tangents a lot, and I don't know. I like showing my friends love and support. Gotta go lay down and see you later. No problem, Fuki. Hope you have a good rest. But I love the potential of Dengum Romper 1 with Ark and Mochi. Nice. Well, hopefully we are able to provide entertainment. I'm not so sure if the chicken will provide you with entertainment, but the bear certainly will. Man, I need to stop roasting Ark every chance I get. Yes, I was. I was trying to collect 20 of them, thinking that once I collect 20, something wonderful would happen. But I couldn't collect 20 of them. I only needed one more. If I had one more, maybe the accident wouldn't have happened. A very sad memory of a flag from a kid's meal. I kept waiting for my parents to come home from the mall. I was hungry, so I started to eat some dried fish. If I ate too much, my mother would find out, so I was careful not to gorge myself. Then the phone rang. I assumed it was from my parents. I answered the phone in an angry manner, but it wasn't them at all. What happened to the house? We had rented it, so maybe somebody else had moved in. What happened to my room? What about my desk and all the flags that were in the right middle drawer? It wasn't my house anymore. Then where was I supposed to go? Even if it remained my house, my parents wouldn't be there to welcome me or protect me. It's because I didn't have my parents protect me. The whole world became so cruel. How could anyone take me away from the house I was used to living in, just because my parents were gone? Why didn't they just leave me alone? They asked me many things. Tried to confirm many things. But how could I have understood any of the forms they gave me? I was asked a yes or no question. I had no choice but to answer yes. Before I knew it, I ended up at the orphanage. It was beyond heartless. I didn't do anything wrong. It's just a little girl. I had signed so many papers. Oh, sorry. But why this? A warm and gentle world that ended suddenly without advance notice. I was thrown into the cruel and merciless world alone. Is this the real world? Did I have any allies at all? It's because my parents died and I didn't have any relatives. The world had become so sad. Is the die going to come up with a 6 instead of a 1 to make up the continuous series of the latter? Tears were pouring down my cheeks. The salty taste further saddened and irritated me. I couldn't do anything but cry. No matter how hard I cried or pitied myself, cold rain wouldn't warm my body or save me. Didn't even know where I was or in which direction I should go. Eriko showed me the map of the House of Love and Mercy when we were planning our escape, but he only learned the shortest route. I was completely lost. But strangely, after I finished crying, I felt the groundless strength within myself. I once learned that tears wash away particles in the eyes. There is a different purpose to them too. Tears also wash away what's in the heart. Very true. If you're really stressed to the point where you feel like you're gonna cry, in my opinion, you should just cry. Because crying is a great way to relieve stress and anguish from your emotional state. Like, crying is literally meant... It's a natural response from the body to release stress. So if you, like, try to hold it in and not cry, that's actually worse for you. Infinitely worse. So, I wouldn't care what, like, society or, like, gender norms or anything says. But, if you feel like crying, then just cry. Because I promise you, after you're done crying, you'll feel a lot better than you were if you chose not to cry and just to hold it in. Promise. I could choose a trivia visual novel. I mean, hey man, whatever you choose, I will play. I clenched my fists and forced my feet to move. I headed in the direction that I believed to be correct on the gravel road. Rain was still pouring. It was getting darker and darker. That is actually scientifically correct. Helps eliminate stress levels, and some scientific even think crying helps to expel excess hormones from the body that may be causing stress. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. I'm actually not joking about the visual novel Amnesia. It's fun. I'll have to put that down in my notes. I have like a lot of notes of like visual novels to read and visual novels I will read in the future. It's a long list. I'm currently reading Corpse Factory, basically Hell Girl rip-off in a VN, you know that anime. I don't, actually. I do know Corpse Factory, very famous visual novel. I have not read it in a while, though, so I could read that on screen. You know, it'd be fun to see him play, like, Ao Oni or, like, Mad Father or something. Dude, Ao Oni is such a meme of a game. Oh my god. Dude, I don't, like, when I was a kid, that was creepy and scary, but, like, when I look at the Ao Oni face anymore, it's so goofy. I have no idea what Mad Father is, though. Play milk in a bag? What? Bro, what are y'all doing to me? What is happening, bro? Rain was still pouring, and it was getting darker and darker. AKA Daddy Ray. Wait, that's like the actual name of it? It's just called Milk in a Bag? Oh wow, okay. Roared at the sky amidst the rain. Oh my god, no. No, I know what this reminds me of. Oh, I know what meme this reminds me of. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh, where is it? Oh, where is it? Wait, meme. Oh, yeah. No, no, not that one. This one. I feel like some of you have seen this meme, but if not, you're in for a treat. You're in for an absolute treat. Come on, man. That's what that reminds me. I roared at the sky amidst the rain. My sadness was turning into anger. Oh. Shit, I have to get rid of the meme. Hold on. Sorry. There we go. Get out of here. Be gone. That's a full CG. I'm glad I ended up reading a version that had the CGs, I'll be honest. Also, let me catch up on that. Full name is Milk in a Milk... Oh, hold on. Milk in a bag of milk in a bag of milk. What? So much milk. Oh, farming visual novel. Is this the first CG we've got in this chapter, actually? I think it is. Why are you staring at the feet, Woo? I feel like that says more about you. I didn't even notice the feet until you pointed it out. Hey yo, Woo? Anything you want to talk about? Dude, it's hard to believe that cute girl is gonna be a mass murderer. It's okay, you know. Sometimes it's just one bad day is all it takes. Wear some shoes, Goral. Hey, yo, looks like I got here at Takano slander against God. Hey, Ruben, how you doing today, buddy? Shoes are for the weak. Quentin Tarantino wants to know your number. Tarantino, that's like the Kill Bill guy, right? The director for that. Takano is one with the earth. Does he have like a thing for feet or something? All it takes is one bad day. Joker's edgy wisdom. He's also the foot guy? What do you mean? He's not Dan Schneider, is he? I thought Dan Schneider was the foot guy. Takano was Toph Beifong. I'm doing well, thanks, Pochi. And you? I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Not too bad today. Found a lot of shinies on Pokemon, so that's epic. Tarantino is the actual. All it takes is one foot pick. Listen, Batman, you sit there and judge me for licking feet pictures, but all it takes is one foot pick, and you become the foot fetishist. Me typing it is Dan Schneider the foot guy. Ro is Dan Schneider the foot guy. Oh god. Oh my god, Drafty. Oh my god, am I gonna have to read that in the Joker voice? Oh god. Batman. I caught a Pokemon. You wanna know what I caught? I caught a Lopunny, Batman. I caught Birth and Death is such a great track. I love it every time it's played. Like, dude, I'm telling you, the OSTs in the later arcs are so good. They're so good, and like especially this soundtrack. I think it's really good. Supposed important moment of chat doesn't combine its. Have you not seen that meme video? I don't think I've seen that specific one. Watch this emoji. How long is it? I might have to watch it. Okay, it's not that one. Let me see. Oh god. Oh no, Joker. Don't. Joker. No, Joker. I'm gonna do it, Batman. No, Joker. That's sus, Joker. It's like this. That was good. That was great. Joaquin, I got a question for you. Higurashi Kai. The answer arcs is when Ryukishi finally got a budget to hire someone to do real music. I see. You can definitely tell, because the other one was like, it just had like royalty-free music, right? Is Higurashi your mainstay for visual novel, or so you know, along about various bands? Oh my god, that Joker, man, that was great. I'm sorry, I keep getting sidetracked. This is why I'm the worst visual novel streamer on the platform. On any platform. No, I actually know nothing much of visual novels. I've only read Higurashi, Umineko, and Steins Gate. I honestly think this sound is insanely impactful. Yeah. I know, I listen, I really don't mean to subtract from the moment when I, like, giggle and laugh. I like talking to you guys, too. Like, I'm enjoying both, don't worry. Like, I'm enjoying how impactful the scene is, but I also like how funny you guys are. I'm sorry, I know it like, creates this weird paradigm. Birth and Death is indeed very packed, which it's not like my death. What? The first visual novel was Katawa Shoujo. Okay, Draft Key, that's actually based. That's actually based, because that was my first visual novel too. It's actually based. High five. Me and Draft Key just had a bro moment. Sorry, chat. As I looked up, I felt the raindrops hit my face. You guys wouldn't understand. Oh, I know, Kato. That's what got me teary-eyed when Keiichi first remembered what actually happened in Arc 1. I'm the only one who gets Poochie. Honestly, Ruben, that was probably like one of my favorite moments in Higurashi, was when Keiichi remembered all that stuff he did. Cause that's like, good lord. Like, the fact that it all comes and you realize, like, everything is connected and not everything is, like, a different story or something is just, like, it's crazy. It's really good. I don't know, man. It's hard to sort of get into talking about it. There is no God. I knew that in my heart. Such disbelief can save me. If I believed he was there, I should have been saved. Scene alone is impactful, but the music elevated it. True. This scene's really good, too. It's like, I don't know. It's something about, like, Let me take a sip of water. The breakdown of, like, your basic instincts, of, like, your beliefs, to where when you're, like, basically in survival mode, anything you believed in doesn't really matter anymore, and you kind of curse everything. I like that breakdown of, like, mental psychology in visual novels or, like, media and stuff. Shows, like, the true nature of humans when they're in, like, the most desperate situation. Very good. If I believed he was there, I should have been saved. No, I needed him to be there. Was he going to answer me? Oh, I really like that. They actually... Oh, I really like that effect. Oh, I think they, like, drew, like, a whole separate thing just for that effect. Because you could see, like, her... Like, it was very obvious. Like, her eyes and stuff got darker and, like, the colors changed. Oh, that was really cool. And that was only for, like, a split-second frame. This stuff has so much work put into it. Oh my god. Anyways, let me see. Oh yeah, of course, Takano deserves empathy, but in great Ryukishi fashion, he makes sure it doesn't justify it. Oh yeah, true. But she is mommy. Like, I'm sorry. 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 I realized he was there. He was there, and he was listening to me. In his eyes, everyone was supposed to be equal. He was listening to me. You can say the same. You can say about everyone's actions. Keiichi, Reina, and Shion. Yeah. So I wanted to read up on the plot so I could check if I remembered it right. And the wiki just said plot. So much plot. Hanyu likes cream puffs. Riko likes wine. If I had to give Higurashi an overall rating so far, obviously not done yet. Still gotta finish this chapter. But it'd probably be like either an 8 or like a 7.9. It's really good. Like, it is fantastic. The reason why it kind of starts off so low, with, or it's not like a 9 or something, I just feel like the question arcs, they're just really slow. I know it's the purpose of, like, building up the story and, like, introducing stuff and, like, making you feel more for the characters, but it really is slow. And the slice of life scenes don't really cut it that much for me. I don't think they're particularly funny, like, that much, but, yeah. I still really like it. There's some parts that I don't like. Aside from the anime BS humor, yeah, it's great. Yeah. I heard thunder again. She's listening. Not gonna lie, she looks adorable when she's cursing the gods. I don't even know how to respond to that, Draft. I don't even know how to respond to that. I enjoy the slice of life, but some jokes are questionable. If you take out, like, all of the sus jokes or, like, the sus stuff, then it'd be, like, easily an 8.5. Very easily. Not with that futa. God. I continued. I've never liked slice of life. I do like slice of life, and some that's the main reason why I like visual novels, is for the slice of life aspects. I just don't like the slice of life in this one. If that makes sense. The scene right here has Umineko connections. I wish Ryukashi released a version with the sus crap taken out. On God, bro. On God. I amusingly feel like Higurashi can hold on its own by cutting out like 80% of the slice of life. What game guys? Draki Passport. Oh, yeah, that. Well. It's not really that spoilery. He was just saying that I had connections. He didn't tell me, like, what the connection was or anything. It's not that bad. I'll probably, like, forget soon anyway. It's okay. But the way it's constructed and the whole curse stuff, yeah. Mochi, quick, do drugs to forget. Oh my God. I feel like it has enough to build on without Keiichi-kun 500,000 times. That's based, woo. I think the slice of life is key to the experience, but some sus parts are obviously not necessary. It's you obviously have to leave some of the slice of life in to get to, like, connect with the characters. The sus stuff is what bothers me the most. Mochi, how do you feel about games in the visual novel? Do you mean like mini games that you play like while you're reading or something? I mean, in some narratives they put the slice of life stuff thing to sort of be like, this is what they were before it all went wrong. I wish Keiichi got beat up more. On God, Daphne. But I could fully do without these weirdos bonding awkwardly. That's fair. That's definitely fair, Will. So some of the slice of life is I do think is necessary, because you have to build the characters and show like their relations. Otherwise, you don't care about them and you're just like, well, that one died. Like mini games are, yeah. That sounds fun, actually. Have like a little mini game break in the middle of reading. Actually, sounds kind of fun. Now that I could get behind. I want Wishy's Bizarre Adventure. Most of the stuff in Higurashi's background stuff with the character, so if you just know, get all the extensive sussy shizzle out. Oh, Takano, no. No, Takano. Don't do it. Please no. I obviously know she doesn't die, but like, it's making me sad that she's saying this stuff. Don't do it, no. You won't do it. Oh my gosh. I heard thunder again. It was loud enough to make me shiver. Normally, I would just hide in the house and wait until that thunder went away. You won't do it, no balls. Takano calls your bluff. Takano just doesn't realize she is God yet. It makes sense now. But on that day, I wasn't afraid. That is such a weird zoom in. Oh, also, this is her original full name. Miyoko Tanashi. Interesting. Heavens replied to my provocation. The heavens took aim at me, a lowly human who dared sling constant insolent insults at them. Look at the passion in her eye pixels. Oh, man. That was my wish. I opened my arms. He's God, so he wouldn't miss me. Guess they never miss, huh? Got a boyfriend, I bet he doesn't. Sorry, I had to. However, I guess even God makes mistakes sometimes. Although he's supposed to be fair, he had been unfair with me. I like how the eye overlaps her hair. Explain. Oh, don't worry, don't worry. Yeah, wait. How does the? That's weird. I don't. It's not like killing me, but that is kind of weird how the eye is like overlapping the hair. They really just said, F it, let's zoom. I mean, it is cost efficient. Yeah, I can't really blame them for that. Her mouth kind of looks like... No, never mind. Don't say it, Michi. No. It's a stupid joke, just move on. She ain't going to heaven. Where's her top teeth at? You can't have those who are looking from above. Oh yeah, that's true. Oh! Did not expect that. Flash from heaven. Thought I smelled something burning just before it hit. Sheer force knocked me to the ground. God command grab Stockanos! Shut up, Trev! Oh god. Brutality! It's a strange experience. Something that had just happened. But it already felt like it happened many years ago. I had no idea how long I was down for. Oh, I could choose a visual novel where Mochi's choice affects the outcome of the visual novel. Isn't that like literally Golden? That's literally like 50 visual novels. That's so many visual. That's called choice-driven visual novels, Golden. What do you mean? It's literally the Steam category. Choices matter. That does sound fun, though. I mean, kind of like a Walking Dead style where your choices matter and people will remember what you did. Golden, you know as much as I do that the choices in Telltale games do not matter. Bro, you know that. He has no bones. Oof, man. You know that Telltale games don't have choices that actually matter. Not at all. And if they do matter, they matter to, like, one scenario and, like, the next chapter, and that's it. I mean, ultimately, yes, but for the relative option choice and minor plot details, they do matter. I guess. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm interested in that. I had no idea how long I was down for. I smelled something odd. The bad stench woke me up. When I looked, I saw that huge tree behind me had been split open. Its leaves were smoldering. I looked up and saw sparks in the distance. Couldn't understand what just happened. It just stood there. Season 2 of The Walking Dead actually had a major plot point of who you choose at the end. Ultimately, they both went perish at the start of Season 3, but it gets you closer to what happened to the characters at least. Yeah, I guess. Y'all gotta stop, like, giving me heart attacks. Minori, hello, hello, hello! Minori! Minori! Oh my gosh, Space Bear Raid, hello, D-chan. I really hope that didn't sound inappropriate. Cloudy, hello, hello! Let me give you an epic shout out. Guys, if you can, please follow Minori Ursay, my best bear buddy, my bear streamer comrade. Zephyr Rebel, hello. Said it right, okay, good. Oh, guys, welcome. Thank you all for stopping by. And for those that are with me, please follow Minori. Very lovely streamer. And you gotta make sure you spam her with the hi honey redeem. That's the mochi way. This is so wholesome. Oh, we are reading Higurashi. It is a very sad visual novel, and it has a lot of like murder and sadness, so content warning for those that just joined, if y'all aren't interested in that. Davkey! Alexa, play Despacito. No hi honey, yes hi honey. You have to spam it. Didn't strike me, it struck the tree behind me. Didn't get to die. He was telling me to keep walking in the woods in the cold rain. Oh, you're on Matsuribayashi? What a journey it's been. Yeah, I've been at this for a while. It has been a long while, but it has been an enjoyable journey. Especially with, like, some of the Higurashi fans that have let me know good stuff, like Ruben, Joaquin, Ruben, Draftkey. They've all been incredibly helpful. Also, there's been some other... I can't... Oh, I'm a horrible student. I can't remember people's names off the top of my head. If I see the name, then I remember them, but, like, I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's been so many Higurashi fans that have cleared stuff up for me and been very helpful and make the reading experience a lot more enjoyable. But, yes. And yeah, Golden's trying to decide what visual novel to get me to play next. Has Mochi played Fata Morgana? No, I have not. There's a lot I haven't played. I also haven't played Clannad. I have, in my Discord... Hold on. I have a list of visual novels I plan to stream in the future in Discord. Hello, Ark. I actually shouted you out earlier, Ark. But you were missed. You missed it. Clannad deck. The art in Morgana is gorgeous. Ooh. There's a lot. There's so many visual novels I haven't gotten into. I'm glad that I chose this to be my streaming medium, with also Pokemon and stuff. But it's so much. There's so much to like explore and to read visual novels. I think it's a fun medium, especially to stream and experience with you guys. And I get to raid chat without being too distracted or anything as well. So I think that's good. You missed it. He called you a chicken early. Oh wow, that's original. Hey, I haven't made a Ark's mom joke yet. So give me some credit. He's telling me to keep walking in the woods in the cold rain. I won my bet with God. Bet my life. Bet my life against the lightning and thunder. Could have killed me instantly. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. Huh? No, I'm good. No, thank you. No, you should go and check up on Art. Thank you. No, I'm okay. I promise. Alright, I'll call you later. Love you. But he missed. They had to fix my life. Looked up at the sky, laughing and bragging that I was still alive. Ark's mauling right now, I know it. I heard thunder again. It's acknowledging its loss. Come on, God. Save me. I won the bet, so save me from this misery. Oh. You know, I don't know why, but I wasn't expecting us to get a Takano Kid Sprite. Well, let's check the different styles. And there is none. Okay, well, fair enough. Stood there. Waited for God to do something while the rain poured down on me. He didn't answer me again. Couldn't hear the thunder anymore. Again, I felt the warm tears pour down my cheeks. What was I thinking? If there was a God in heaven, he wouldn't have let anything like this happen to me. My miserable life was the proof of God's non-existence. Oh, it's this part? Oh no. Oh no, am I in for a trip? Darkness was about to swallow me utterly. Do I have to sleep out there? God must have wanted me to die slowly in this cold rain, instead of granting me an instant death by lightning. Damn, that's quite the way to think, but to be fair, most people like to think like that anyway. I used to think like this. Not to start a pity party, just relating to the visual novel. Like most of you guys know, I do have major depression, and I used to think stuff like this. Especially when I was religious. It was very bad. Wish the sun would go away. Wish the sun would never rise. I love you. Oh, no. Nah, don't get all sappy on me. Nah, don't do it now. I wish that, as the woods had grown completely dark, my existence would be hidden by that darkness. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Oh, brother, this guy stinks! Everyone give not the sap. No! Please, no. Is it a hug mochi? No, it's not. No, it's not. We're reading nice SpongeBob reference mochi. Had it been an eternity, or was it a matter of seconds? Mochi moment initiated. Couldn't even tell time in such darkness. It was then that I saw something. It was a light. Too much love, too nice. Proof Mochi's a sooner. I'm literally not. You're a cool bear. You're a cool cloud, Cloudy. No, wait, you're a cool sky. You're a cool sky. You gotta go full Care Bear moment and bring it on for a hug, brother. Mochi is a bear, dude. Come on, man. I noticed it only because the woods were so dark. But was it really there? Had it been there this whole time? Felt like the light was inviting me towards it. It was a fluorescent light. It's a black light. Is that what it's called? It's a black light. It's that black light they check for no hotel. Ugh. The nut detector was shooting through the Joker gasp. AKA my nut. Oh my god. That is sus. I didn't normally like fluorescent lights because I always thought they looked cold. I didn't feel coldness from that white light. I made myself believe that the light was a guide sent by God. Meanwhile, Cloudy's like, what have I walked into? I had to believe, otherwise I wouldn't be saved. L5! Yeah, we all just suffered from Hinamizawa syndrome L5 in this stream. Light reflected in a puddle. It wasn't a muddy puddle. It was a puddle on asphalt. I had made it out of the woods and was on a paved road. Light was a street light. Being on a paved road didn't really resolve anything. My nostrils are hitting L5. I'm close to the source. Never giving up on that joke to the bitter end. Rose on L5. Or as some say, the sauce. God. It's just a country road. Country road. Take me home. Where I belong. West Virginia. Sorry. L5 No. America, yeah. It was a road. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
We had the woo baby and the best girl at the same time. West Virginia. This road that went through the woods, so there was no houses, no shops, and not even a single car. I really need to lower the volume on that flight scream. Woo's like, I can't. My ears. Not that though. If I had L6, that scream woke up. I'm awake. Welcome back, Woo. What happened? Takano was crying for God, and then God told her to F off. That's about the the long and short of it. There weren't too many street lights on the road, so it was still very dark. God sent the middle finger. Go F yourself. Like someone hit that name. Question, who was that girl before? Asking for Ruben, I swear. I don't... That couldn't have been Hanyu during the lightning strike, right? Because there was like some girl that like called out to Takano, or it was like calling her pitiful or something. It's probs Hanyu, if I have to guess. It's spoiler. Oh, well, don't tell me then. Don't tell me. But like, I don't know. My feet touched the asphalt. It felt so different from the gravel I had been walking on earlier. It felt almost merciful. I'm guessing because the wiki says jackal. Oh! I accidentally, like, inhaled through my nose. I feel like I swallowed snot by accident, and I hope that wasn't what that was. Well, we can only hope. Talking about the... Yeah. Oh, no! Oh, that. Oh, well, if your friend is curious, that's Miss Heed from Villainous. Just if the friend was curious. There's actually no way for Mochi to know who it is. Oh, so you're doubting me, Drafty. Oh, okay. Alright. You think I'm not a gamer. I'm about to guess who it is right now. Chi-sensei. I know I'm right. Give me an A+. I got it first try. You doubt thy skill? Blasphemy! Oh, hey, Jinji. How you doing, buddy? Oh my god. How is the Jinji? Hi. Oh god, no. This is gonna turn into a Vine compilation. Oh no. My feet had grown used to walking on gravel. The Jinji good. How is stream? Stream's going really well. I have somebody of my friends, so many good people coming in today and chatting with me. Very nice. Higurashi Vine Edition. Takano stabs into Rika. Boom. as like Takano's like ripping out her organs, it just vine booms for like every organ or intestine. And then Takano slaps Rika's dead face, and it's another vine boom. Then Takano ends it with a dab, which is like the loudest vine boom. But after feeling the softness of asphalt, I never wanted to go back to the former again. Takano, I am God, vine boom. Takano charges her L5 Rasengan. Moch, guess what? What, Art? What is it? What do you want? Don't you see I'm in the middle of reading? God, I should ban you.
I love you.
Oh.
No, I've been waking up.
Wow. Clip it so you can cancel me on twitter.com. Nice. Cancel me on Twitter, bro. I felt that love. Oh, God. I could only choose between heading left or heading right. You wish I were canceling on Twitter. I was grateful to God for leading me to this asphalt road. Canceling you on LinkedIn? No! No! Vine boom, no! I wish that he had given me a little more... I was grateful to God for leading me to this asphalt road, but I had wished he had given me a little more guidance. Such a little bit of luck couldn't make up for all the unhappiness I'd gone through. And that was when I sensed his guidance. Saw another light in the distance. Canceling Mochi on society.gov. It was only on the right side. I headed towards it. And when I got there, I understood what it was. I was amazed to find it there. A telephone booth. Who would actually make a call in the middle of nowhere? A telephone booth in the countryside was rather unusual. There were plenty of red public phones all over, but I had always thought telephone booths only existed in big cities. Ah, yes. Only the big cities have ways of communicating with each other. Us in the backroads states or backroad countries. Yeah, we're just walking on bare feet, tossing rocks through windows. Hey neighbor, you got any milk? Yeah, I got some. How much you need? Just about half a gallon, buddy. Thank you. Mochi getting Mizawa disaster. Canceling on MySpace. Mochi getting canceled triggers great Mizawa disaster. True. It almost looked as though the telephone booth had been put there as punishment for doing something bad. When I thought that, I felt bad for the lonely telephone booth. It reminded me of myself. Okay. Why did that feel like a... I don't know if that was just me, but that felt like an I'm 14 and this is deep moment. Woman looked at a telephone booth like, it's lonely, like me. Crawling in my skin. Sorry, I'm saying, bro. Looks at telephone booth, that is so me. Even if I went inside the telephone booth, what could I even do in there anyway? Is there not a telephone on there? Did I miss something? Is there not a telephone in there? What do you mean? Is there no phone in the booth? Me, whenever I look at a vacuum, man, this sucks just like me. Wait, Woo, which way do you mean that? That's sus. Woo, you're being sus. I am tragedy. I already knew the answer to that question, but no matter what, I just had to get in there. The door squeaked as I opened it. I'm a sussy bucket. There were lots of moths and other bugs flittering around the light. I usually hated bugs, but in that moment I felt like they were my friends, sheltering from the rain like me. What if there was like... This is in Japan, right? So what if there was like a Japanese giant hornet, like, I don't know, on this dial? She was like, oh, it's my friend. She goes to touch it. She gets stung, dies right there. What is this? There was no heater, but it was still very warm inside of this booth. It sheltered me from the cold rain. I feel bad for the booth, and I suddenly love bugs because they're like me. She's going around saying boo to everything. Wait, you don't do that? Aw, you're so weird, Woo. You don't do that. Soon enough, I crumbled to the floor. Mood. The warmth from the fluorescent light embraced me gently. I felt like it was telling me that it was okay to cry. But I had no more tears left, because I cried them all when the lightning struck. Aching scratches covered my body. These bugs are in solitude just like me. Just like me, for real, for real. My calves were in pain too. My feeling hurt everywhere, and I didn't want to get up ever again. Alright, that's a mood. Unironically, that's a mood. These bugs ate the rain just like me, for real, for real. Takano, just like me, for real. I wished I could fall asleep. If I did, that staff from the orphanage might find me. Windows on the booth were high up, so if I sat down, I wouldn't be visible from the outside. But it was the only shelter in these dark woods. Staff would be sure to check it. That was why I couldn't stay there for long. Telephone booths from back then weren't completely made of glass, so it was possible to hide inside one. Oh. Okay. Fair enough. I like how he had to add that, where he's like, he thought somebody would doubt him. I mean, you could always, like, lay on the floor out of, the glass to reach. Takano is an empath. This reminds me of the classroom of the elite. I have no idea what that is. Okay, I'm sorry I left for a second. Is there still a kid? Yes. It's saying things like exhausted spirit, yeah. Like some slam poet. Meanwhile, Woo is a kid. I'm fucking tired. My exhausted spirit understood that I had to move. But I just couldn't make myself. Just say you're tired. Well, it's a book, Woo. You have to describe it in like an entertaining way. Come on, man. Come on, man. Maybe I was experiencing some kind of vision. I felt a strange calmness that I'd never experienced before. She feels 80 years old. I didn't feel that I was myself. It was very strange. I thought that maybe that I was killed by that lightning. I assumed I was still Miyoko Tanashi. maybe I wasn't her at all. 80 years old, you have no idea what this feels like. Seriously considered those things. And I started to think that the telephone booth had something to do with it. Because God led me here. He couldn't have done so just because it was providing shelter from the rain. It had to be something else. You could, like, call the orphan. Can I feel? No. No feel. No feel here. I wondered what it was. Would there be something in the booth that could save me? But what? The telephone booth is used to make a phone call. Yes, this floor is made of floor. God told Taco, get your money up, not your money up. Chase that bag. Taco said, you right, and then became a mass murderer. God said, hey, yo, wait. But I didn't have any money. But then, I noticed something that looked like copper. My heart skipped a beat. 10 yen coin I saw wasn't there before. Wait, what? God gave me that dollar bill, yo. God throws bottle. Get off the stage, you suck. Those Higurashi people got in between Takano and her bag. Of course she chose the bag. God almighty, dude. Did I just miss it? Didn't think so. Must have just showed up. In other words, this 10 yen coin was guidance from God. Dude, imagine she's like got a 10 yen coin in her hand and she's looking at it like it's her savior. And then like there's some guy that's like walking past the phone booth like from his 9 to 5. He's like, Jesus, man, kids these days. He was telling me to make a call with that coin. But who? Plot twist, it was always there. Takano was just hallucinating on L5. 10 yen, Takano, a certified paper chaser. That's basically what happened to Scrooge McDuck. There's no telephone book. In that case, I could only call a number I knew. Did God want me to do that then? There was only one coin. I could only call one number. Takano Gold Digger confirmed. I couldn't talk for that long. I challenged God earlier, so it was just a matter of course to think that God was challenging me in return. I had only one chance. He wanted me to test my luck with that chance. I left the phone booth and looked up at the sky. Then I yelled in my heart, "You're on, God!" I'm on to you, old man in the sky. No Takano mommy slander here, true. Takano calls DJ Khaled. Mr. Khaled, please, you have to give me the key to success. And you know, I got so much jewelry. It's also, I got just jewelry. It's jewelry. no, like jewelry. I'll slander her. No one is safe. I wondered who I could call. Who? Who was that wrestler dude that was like, you like the drip required to slander talk? She would body. Who was that one wrestler guy that made that a video where he's like, this guy's only got like a 22% chance of beating me, and if you subtract that by 14%, then you got like 8%. And what was that guy? She's gotta call that guy the guy. I can take her. She's like, what, 2 years old? My house. My parents were dead, and I had no relatives. She relates to a phone booth. Even if I called, nobody would answer. Actually, the phone bill wouldn't have been paid for a long time. The phone line would already be disconnected. Ghostbusters versus Honey. I relate myself to better things like a bus station in Lee. BS and Tom's lines are so funny, sometimes true. Woo, I'm not so sure if you could talk. I saw you playing It Takes Two earlier, and you you were having you were having a pretty hard time at it. Excuse. Woo's like, how dare you doubt my gamer senses? Platforming is bad for my heart. And my exhausted soul. Okay, so she could beat you if you're playing a platformer. If you're playing a platformer, then she probably beats you. My house is my lost life itself. She's two. She's not two, dude. She's not two right now. She can't hold the controller. No, the debris of my life. Calling home would simply be an expression of regret, which ran counter to the positive attitude of one trying to change their life. She's 2.5. She's soaked by rage. She'll never hold it correctly with those clammy hands. Takano try to sound wise and fail at her. So surely using the coin to call my house was wrong. Which meant I had to cast this 10 yen coin to my future. Future. My future? Future! Future! What future anyway? Shut up, dude! Reading's hard, okay? Future. Back to the future. Then I heard a huge thunderclap which cleared my mind. Oh, this OSP. In that clear state of mind, I saw something from the past. It's the last sight of my father. Crap, Takano shot a bullet with her mind. Did she die? No, she's alive. His final moments on the hospital bed, though suffering from pain, he tried to tell me something very important.
もしもな、お父さんが死んだら、高野先生を頼りなさい。高野ひふみ先生だよ。言ってみなさい。
高野ひふみ？
そうだ。高野ひふみ先生だよ。高野先生はお父さんの恩師なんだ。
Gonna get by lightning inside a booth.
きっとお前を助ける。
お父さん。
Turns out that booth wasn't your friend.
お父さん、お父さん、お父さん。
Not a mood at all. Many doctors came into the room in a hurry. Wanted to tell me something else. The doctor stopped him from talking, so it wasn't audible. It shouldn't have been, but it was to me. I heard it. I heard it, but I didn't want to hear him say it while suffering. so I pretended that I didn't hear. He said it while coughing. I heard it. Dude, oh my god. Dude, okay, hold on. Hold on, wait. Don't tell me he was coughing up like his guts and stuff. He's like, 1-800 57-6 8312. Come on, man. Oh my god. Why did the coughing make it sound like the guy was acting just to get away from it? Takano didn't bring emergency meth, he's doomed. Oh my god. This kid is so much smarter than me. I can barely remember my own number. Let alone the number my dad coughed out on his deathbed like that. He wasn't? Takano was just hearing things? Oh, so he didn't actually say it? There were numbers. Swallowed once. That's right. It was a phone number. I knew nobody would take me in, because we had no relatives. Oh. God dang it, Ruben. God dang it, man. Oh wait, shoot, I had like something in my mic. Do you think Domino's delivers to Hidemizawa? Maybe. It would depend on how close it is. Tell me to get in touch with Dr. Hifumi Takano. Yes, once. Sorry, I gave you hope for something that I hear again. He tried to tell me his phone number. What had I done? He tried so hard, using his last chance to tell me the most important thing. Thunder from earlier had made me remember it. The number I couldn't remember even once came out so smoothly. I dialed it in. Alright, this is a bit ridiculous. Like, suspension of disbelief, it can only go so far, you know what I mean? It's a little ridiculous. I remember watching that anime and thinking out of everything that happened, that was the most ridiculous crap ever. Yeah, it's a little ridiculous, but it is what it is. I dialed it in. This really was it. This was the number from my father's teacher, Dr. Takano. My hand stopped just as I tried to put the coin in. Marina held a whole school hostage with a machine. Fair point, Woo. Yeah, dude, this is the most insane thing. Fair point, Woo. If I hadn't remembered it correctly. No, there was no need to hesitate. I had to believe in myself. This had to be the correct number. I had to dial it before I forgot it again. I picked up the phone and put the coin in. I'm saying that in a story about time loops, gods, parasite diseases, and delusions. There's the tile dome on the other end. This could have been written better on. It is what it is. It is. The thing that gets me is that the dad was just like trying to cough out like a phone number for like because he just knew he had to. He just said tile dome. No one here. At that point, oh my god, Takano! I don't know why that made me laugh. That's not funny. It's not funny. It's not. It caught me off guard. I decided to unalive myself if it didn't work. could go back into the woods and wait for another lightning bolt. I could lie down and let the rainwater drown me too. I remember being sick, and when it came to coughing, I couldn't care less about what I was trying to say. I know, right? Like, if you're in that much of a coughing fit, you're not gonna like. I'm sorry. I'm getting like too critical and analytical. I'm sorry. I know I should just like go along with it. I'm sorry. I know. I'm really bad about that. I'm sorry. Let me just keep reading. Okay, actually, could someone please tell me what age she is? I have no idea. She's obviously adult in like the current timeline, but I have no idea right now. We all think it's fine. Yeah. I am back for dinner. Welcome back, Golden. I could also fall asleep in the middle of the road and wait for a car to run me over. I made up my mind and put the coin in. Didn't hesitate any longer. He is seesawing between going daddy and exhausted soul. I straight up don't know if she's 2 or 80. Dialed the number at once. But I had to be careful. If you dial quickly, sometimes you can make mistakes. I was getting irritated, and that almost made the phone number go vague in my head. I dialed the last digit, and heard some electronic sound on the other end. I hoped that I dialed the number correctly. I didn't know what to say to Dr. Takano if it did connect. Where was I? Who thinks anime... Oh, let me see. Anime characters can give a speech while coughing up gallons of blood. Also, I made the decision on which visual novel to force Mocher to play. Oh boy. One exhausted soul. I am exhausted soul. I just need 7,216 more channel points. You could probably get that in like a couple of streams, honestly, Golden. With like the way that like you get bonus points for like going to consecutive streams, you could probably get that pretty fast. What was I? What was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to ask him? She's so old yet so young. Divide 80 by 2, then multiply it by the number of rotations of the sun made around the earth since creation, and half that. Okay, wait. 80 divided by 20 minus 40, then Wait, what was I supposed to ask? I didn't know any of those things. How many I rotate? Making a call isn't cheap. 1 10-yen coin would only buy me short time to talk. The line must have connected then. I heard a ringtone. I only had a short time once someone answered the phone. Banana, rotate! I thought for a moment that I should put the phone down. Then I could at least get the coin back. What's this? Got rotated. Is there a shark rotating meme? It's funny because that's how killer whales maul sharks to death. Fun fact. Get rotated, idiot. Hope we finish this specific chapter. The end of this chapter is the most sick ending ever. Oh gosh. Mochi, what the? It'll probably take a couple streams, but we're obviously gonna finish this game. Like, imagine though. Imagine if I got like halfway through chapter 8 and I was like, alright chat, no more Higurashi. I've decided I'm through with it. I've decided I will read no more. We're obviously gonna finish it. I feel like so many people would kill me if I did that. Maybe the shark should have been chasing a bag instead of whales. That would bring me to O5. Okay, chat, I can't read anymore. I suddenly became I could call back after sorting out my thoughts. The words mean nothing to me now. But then someone answered.
もしもし、
Hey,
高野です。
felt like I was suffocating. My memory had been correct. Couldn't tell the age of the speaker, but it was a grown man's voice. Okay, chat, nothing to see here. I just need to translate to Mochi's form. Oh, man. Anyone who was my father's teacher must have been quite old. Turns out Higurashi's next cycle of tragedy was triggered by Mochi giving up. Never mind that. I had to hurry and say something. Mochi. Hurry. Hurry.
高野先生ですか。高野。
Look, Takano didn't give up, so you can't either. Mochi causes the great eating Misawa disaster. Oh, God.
ひふみ先生ですか。
ん？そうですが、どちら様ですか？
He must have been suspicious. I couldn't blame him. The stranger was asking him about his name. Of course he'd get suspicious.
ごめんなさい。私、タナシって言います。
Mochi Doopy Leak again.
タナシミヨコと申します。
田無さん？はい。
私の父に高野先生に電話しろって言われたんです。父は田無竹光と言います。
田無ああ、田無くん。ああ。
His voice suddenly changed. Dr. Takano had remembered his old student. Mochi, trust us. Trust your friends. We can get through anything that you couldn't alone. True. They suddenly start playing that fist bump song from that Sonic game. What was it? It was like... next to you. It's that really, like, fast-paced Sonic song where they're talking about friendship. I don't know.
私、娘です。お父さんに電話しろって言われて。
田無くんに何かあったんですか？
Not good. It's going to run out of time.
お父さんとお母さんが事故で死んじゃって。それで、高野先生に電話しろって言われたんです。
Talking. Sorry, I can't help you. Hangs up.
田無くんがお亡くなりに？そうですか。二人とも？それは本当にお気の毒です。田無くんは私が大学で講師をしていた時、しばらく交流があったことがあります。何事にも勤勉な良い青年でした。結婚式に呼んでもらった時にあったのが最後だったような気がします。
Crack is A+ tier. I agree. It's very good. Obviously, he didn't know I was born, but he remembered my father. I can feel the hope coursing through my veins. It's truly a stroke of luck.
それで、田無くんは私に何と？ Didn't know what to say. Was only told to call Dr. Takano. How could I tell him that? Time was running out. Quick, inject me with more hope! Get him some hope, Stat! We're losing him! Felt more and more anxious by the minute. Phone calls are disconnected without notice. Somehow I sensed it. I only had enough time left for one sentence. So I decided to say one sentence filled with all my hopes.
助けてください。
phone call got disconnected. Imagine a medical drug called hope. Or it's just a drug. It's not even like, it's just a drug. Maybe he only heard part of what I said. I could only hope he was able to sense my despair. Guy's a blind guy, get him! Oh no. Hey, take him. Couldn't hear anything from the receiver anymore. But I actually talked to Dr. Takano. Love the parallel to Satoko's phone call with them both calling for help. There's a lot of really good parallels, and this series. Some of them are, if your memory's good enough, you can notice a lot of them. Get Mochi and get his medication. But I actually talked to Dr. Takano. I confirmed that Dr. Takano existed. He existed and he remembered my father. He grieved over his student's death. He would come visit my house. He would find out I was sent to an orphanage. Then he would come get me. That's when tears flowed down my cheeks again. Instead of Satoko's hesitation being convinced by Rika, Takano didn't hesitate and reached out. Yup. I thought that my life was hopeless. I never knew that finding even a grain of hope could make me feel so happy and strong. The voice I heard on the phone was so warm and dependable. Father must have thought about me for a long time in that hospital bed. Why does it say in the title, a blind man? Oh, that just means that I've never read Higurashi or watched Higurashi in any way before. It just means that I'm completely new to this series and I'm reading through it for the first time. That's all the blind stuff. The message of Higurashi. It's okay to reach out for help. Exactly. Father must have thought about me for a long time in that hospital bed. Came up with a name that he could trust his daughter with. Dr. Hifumi Takano. I could trust Dr. Takano. It's like I've said before, I think in my own time, if I ever decide to reread Higurashi, a lot of stuff would be like a lot more like popping out to me and like interesting on a reread. Because like, oh, okay, they actually like foreshadowed this here, or this actually leads to this event and stuff. Higurashi is definitely something that would be really interesting on a reread. There we go, another theme, trust. Yup. I think there was an option at the end to redo the chapter. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you could just go back and start new with the stuff, you know? Like, obviously, wait. What do you mean specifically? Like with the characters knowing, or just we knowing? Because obviously you can go back and reread it. No, I think there was an ending. Oh, okay. It's crazy that Hanyu's existence was foreshadowed in the very first scene of Arc 1. I don't know, I'm reading half the wiki right now. Was it really? I don't remember, Ruben. I could trust Dr. Takano. I had to believe that he would find me. I was going for the Dragon Ball streams, and they're playing the Game Award. Dang. Oh, wait, is the Game Awards tonight? Was that tonight? I had no idea. It might take more than just a few days. From Dragon Ball Z. I'm reading the wiki, by the way, to see what Takano's age is right now. And I can't find anything, but she is in her 30s, so... Keiichi on the train ride back to Hinamizawa from a funeral kept hearing a woman that kept apologizing. Oh! Okay. Okay. Interesting. See, like, there's so much stuff that, like, you can go back and read again and just notice. It's awesome. Like, that's probably my favorite part about visual novels. Seeing other people read visual novels, like, I love watching people read Fruit of Grisaia and like seeing stuff that the characters say in early dialogue that I noticed later on. But it might take more than just a few days. Anyu's I'm sorry and the narration's whole focus on forgiveness. Yeah. I'd have to wait patiently. A few days? A month? More? I could only wait patiently. Either way, I couldn't stay in the telephone box. Staff would easily find me there. After completing the game once, a secret ending can be unlocked through the connecting pieces screen by reading the pieces in order below. A 50-second piece can be unlocked. Oh, okay. I see. I see. That'll be interesting. I went out into the rain again. But this time the rain felt a little warmer than before. I had wished to die by lightning. Yeah, get me out of there. There's a human that I hadn't talked to. I don't know if it's worth it, but yeah. I might do that in my free time. I mainly just wanted to read through, like, the main story for stream of Higurashi, which I think that's what most of y'all are here for. I don't want to assume that most people are here to, like, see me read all the console arcs, read every ending and all that stuff. You mainly just want to see me react to, like, the main story. I assume, at least. After that phone call, I was filled with hope in the will to live. It really shows how great Higurashi's reread value is, even if you know the mystery. Catching those foreshadowing is amazing. Oh man, little Takuto was really cute. She is little child. I wanted to live, and that was why I felt pain all over my body. I still wished to die. I didn't feel anything. I had to wait patiently until Dr. Takano came to pick me up. I had to get to the House of Love and Mercy. That would be the best place to wait for him. I didn't think the orphanage would tell him I escaped to the House of Love and Mercy. The will to live and fight on is truly beautiful. Yeah. Picked up some fun stuff here and there. Yeah, it does have a really good message about, like, not giving up as well. Despite, like, dire circumstances, I will say. But the house wouldn't stop me from calling him. All I'd have to do was call him again and let him know where I was. But I didn't know where I could find the House of Love and Mercy. Didn't see any signs anywhere, and I didn't even know what direction the orphanage I escaped from was in. I couldn't just stop. I had to walk. I had to find shelter. Mochi, if I never come back, I say goodbye. Jacob, what? My brother in Christ, what? What the fuck? Alright, man. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Game awards are going okay. I don't know. I had to keep going because I finally saw the light at the end of the tunnel. Chills and throbbing pain tormented me, but I couldn't die until I met Takano-sensei. I wished a car would come by. If it was somebody who lived in the area, I could ask. But the police wouldn't do me any good. I was sure that the orphanage had already called the police about our escape, and they wouldn't be forgiving. The police were sure to send me back to the orphanage. Either way, I wish that somebody would show up. Otherwise, I'd have to keep walking on the asphalt in the darkness forever. How long did I walk? Still no car. Since I couldn't help but think that maybe the world perished, leaving only me behind. Cars showed up. I sensed the car coming up behind me, so I turned around. I saw their headlights approaching. I thought for a moment. Should I stand in the middle of the street and stop the car. It was so dark. I didn't think the car would notice if I just waved at it. If I were to stand in the middle of the street, I could get run over. Well, I thought the car was getting closer and closer. Never give up, reach out for help, trust others, communicate. You can always earn forgiveness by atoning for your sins. Yup. Indeed. Just some feel-good lessons in general. Look, she might be a gaslight gatekeep girl boss, but she worked for all that, so I do respect her. True. I thought the car was getting closer and closer. I made the phone call. I panicked and didn't know what to say. So with this car, I'd have to think very carefully. If I couldn't think of anything, then I should just let the car go. Those thoughts vaguely on my mind, I was incredibly surprised when the car slammed the brakes with a screech and came to a stop. Maybe I wasn't all there after that miraculous experience of lightning striking near me. I half lost my mind in those dark woods, so I probably wasn't thinking very straight. Because the car had stopped after recognizing me. In other words, the driver knew who I was. The only people in the area who would recognize me were... Suddenly a chill ran through my whole body. I started to dash away. I heard a voice calling after me. I no longer had the strength to run. My feet were trembling and couldn't make them cooperate. I realized then that I shouldn't have sat down in the telephone booth. I'm so glad I didn't judge Higurashi based on face value and experience its amazing story. It is really good. I don't want to say my full thoughts on it yet until I've finished the whole thing, but it is really, really good. That was why I couldn't keep running. I suddenly grabbed from behind, the collar of my clothes almost choking me. I heard fabric being ripped. I fell in a puddle and a staff member got on top of me. This time his finger wasn't in my mouth. All I could do was struggle. As I did so, I remembered all the scary stories Iriko and the others told me. All the torture the child who was caught had to endure. It took me a while to first watch it, as I only knew Higurashi based on its reputation as a grisly, edgy horror anime. Yeah. That's like a lot of stuff that has that as like the draw in. It's like a double-edged sword. It gets you interested, but at the same time it gives you a preconceived conception of what it actually is. The brown ducky punishment, the mashed caterpillar punishment, and displayed piggy punishment. The names of those eerie-sounding punishments came to my mind. I screamed and struggled with all my might. It was too late. I was shoved into the back seat of the car. Couldn't they just let me go? Simple. They didn't want me talking about them to anybody. Staff were yelling and screaming while chasing me, but once we were in the car, they were silent. It's like the Grim Reaper had come to get me. Whether I liked it or not, I had to come to terms with the fact that my luck had run out. But it's called Takano-sensei. The track is so calming yet so urgent and so sad. Yeah. It's like all the tracks in like chapter 5 onwards are so good. Like there's not really one that I dislike or anything. So I knew he would come to get me. I didn't know when that would be, but I knew it would happen someday. So I wanted to live. I'd be saved if I lived. I couldn't even imagine the kind of punishment that was waiting for me. Even so, I said to myself, I have to live. I already found the light at the end of the tunnel. All I had to do was endure until I reached it. The car stopped. We had arrived at the front gate of the orphanage. 2 staff members grabbed my shoulders so I wouldn't run. My shoulders were very skinny, so it hurt a lot. I was scared. Scared of what I would have to go through. We went through the door and was finally sheltered from the rain. In a way, I wasn't sheltered at all, though. Power believed to create a miracle. I like Higurashi's insistence on that theme. Yeah, like if you believe hard enough, it's surely something will happen. Although at the same time, that can give you false hope in life. So it's like a double-edged sword with that theme as well. As long as you keep trying, something good can happen. Is the way I see it. It's the middle of the night and long past time to turn all the lights off. The orphanage should have been quiet. But I heard a noise. It's a strange noise. Keep believing. Keep fighting, something could change, yeah. Noise of a shower. Noise of metal objects crashing into each other. Also the staff's yelling and screaming. Chill went down my spine. Oh, what could I possibly write down to fully describe this fear? A staff member knocked on the door of the storage room and the door opened. The moment it did, an angry roar issued from inside. The sight leapt into my eyes. I couldn't completely take in the bizarre scene before me. 2 staff members were hitting a mat with bamboo swords, while yelling violently. It was a mat used in, you know, one you use when you do gymnastics. But why was it rolled up like that? Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, God. The rolled up mat was tied with a string and was standing up in the corner. Staff members kept hitting it. Usually words are said to a person. Why were they yelling at a... Because there's a kid in there! Why were they yelling at a rolled up mat? The way they were hitting and yelling at it was as if they had gone mad. Let me catch up on chat for a second. But by doing nothing, the cycle of sadness and tragedy will simply continue. Higurashi uses the topic of being a victim of abuse to explore that theme is fantastic. Yeah, this is F. I'm reading the Higurashi wiki and I'm being slandered. Oh my god. But wait. I can see something sticking out from the top of the rolled mat. It was... Let me see. Whose shoes were those? Oh my god. I'm kinda wondering, would previous scene be stronger with this ahead of it? You're gonna have to explain. I'm not sure what you mean, Woo. All of a sudden I froze and couldn't think anymore. One man stood in front of me. The man's pinky finger was wrapped in bandages. Oh god. My eyes moved upwards from his pinky finger, met with his. These eyes met mine, peering with intent to devour me. I squeezed out a voiceless scream. My voice didn't come out, so it was more like a goldfish opening and closing its mouth. The beast stuck his little finger in front of me and roared. I couldn't tell if it was a word or a meaningless shriek. I was certain it was something abusive. I was scared. I didn't want to die. I wanted to live. I knew that Dr. Takano would show up and save me. Higurashi sure knows how to create a strong mental image through intense description. Yeah. Like, this is actually making me terrified. I was thinking, so this is clearly horror material, right? If it was before the whole thunderstorm? Like, would her yelling and screeching and everything be even stronger? Well, the thing is, like... Oh, I'm getting confused. I'm sorry. Because we have this in our minds. Well, I think that makes this more like, oh, it's okay. No, you're fine. I think I can understand kind of what you're saying. I think it actually empowers this scene more, because we had that scene of her, like, cursing and, like, swearing to, like, move on, and now we're getting this, and it's, like, showing her reality and how debilitating it can be. If that makes sense, I'm not sure. That was why I had to live, and submit myself to the fear. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ah! The hand with the bandages grabbed my hair and dragged me along. All I could do was apologize and beg for forgiveness, while hoping the beast had even a tiny bit of mercy in him. It was like a broken, apologizing doll. Mad doll that kept muttering apologies until its key wound down. I was their toy, shedding tears, coughing blood, and apologizing in place of clicking gears. You could see into the shower room while he dragged me along. The door was open, and I heard wailing from the inside. What I saw was very strange. There was a locker on its side in the shower. What an odd sight. Walker was taking a shower sideways. I'd never even imagined anything like it before. The Walker was taking a cold shower while 2 staff members hit it with bamboo swords. It's now abuse. Lowest point. Hope phone call. This terrible scene. Abuse. That explained the metallic noise I heard before. Beast didn't want me to see that. He pulled my hair violently and twisted my neck, so that I looked in the opposite direction. And I'm wondering what it would be like if it was abuse, this terrible scene, lowest point, hope phone call. I guess that would, kind of make sense. But I think it also, like, does good on, like, the expectation of then getting saved after the hope phone call, but then getting dragged back into abuse. So I think it works that way, in my opinion, as well. But I think I get what you're saying, because it would make the scene of her screaming to the moon more impactful if she already had experienced this. I think that's what you're saying. And I realized, interesting, he didn't do that to stop me from watching that shower. He did it to make me look at something else. I saw a window in a courtyard. Usually it was too dark to see anything. The lights were on and the courtyard was very bright. And I saw it. Inside of the hen house, I saw... blank. What is that? Blank? Oh, was that her friends? That she escaped with? Were those her friends? Yep. That hair was Eriko's. Blank? But why was she blank? That was far too blank. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 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 I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't want to die. No, Dr. Takato is coming to save me. I know he's coming. Yeah, she's blanking it out. Dude, trauma. Yeah. I was taken to the staff bathroom. It stunk of ammonia. I saw a blank which just doesn't fit in the bathroom. Why was this in the bathroom, I thought? He's not planning to blank me with blank, is he? No way. No, 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 no! Tanashi. This is your punishment for breaking the rules, okay? Everyone must follow the rules. If you don't, you get punished. You understand? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Never do it again. I'll do everything you tell me to. I promise. I really do. Please spare me. Please spare me. No, that hurts. No, 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 no. No! God dang. Oh, I hated that. Oh, I hated that. I'm sorry, if that, like, brought, like, bad memories for anyone in chat or something. I'm really sorry about that. Oh. I'm sorry, it's always that line being used so effectively. I suppose it makes sense since she has hope in the back of her mind. Yeah. Oh, God. Well, on that note, we're gonna rate somebody. Yeah, happy fun time. Oh, goodness. That was awful. It was. Let me be clear. It was good writing. It's just should have. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not actually like that like perturbed, but it just surprised me, you know. No, no, don't warn me because I don't want to be spoiled. It's just it feels good to feel this emotion. That means that the writing is really good. It's just I can't help but be perturbed in the moment. You know what I mean? I'm gonna raid Vanity. This is Vanity. Is a good friend of mine, and she's a very lovely VTuber. We are going to raid and show a very good time. What the? She is streaming, right? Anyways, and here is the raid message. This is the greatest bear raid of all time. Alright, guys. I will see you there. I hope everyone had a good time. I will try to... Hold on, I gotta type this out. Okay. I will try to stream tomorrow. I'm not too sure. I have been taking kind of some breaks lately. Just to, like, you know, make sure I'm refreshed for every stream. Make sure I'm having a good time being entertaining for y'all. But we'll see. So I hope everyone has a good day. I'll see you later. Show Vanity lots of love. And, yeah. Bye-bye-bye.
I told